what I think the Dolphins should do at quarterback in free agency. They shouldn't do anything. They should re-sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they should draft a young quarterback in the top 5. That's what they should do. Will they do that? I hope so. I mean, it's very obvious that they should do that. But if they weren't going to do that, this is some of the options that they would have. If they instead of drafting a quarterback, they pursued one on free agency. The most interesting one by far is Dak Prescott. He's the only one on this list where I think to myself, he's a very Drew Brees-like situation. He's young. He's had a really good career. He led the league in passing this season. He led the number 1 offense this season. He's got a playoff win under his belt. He's a winner. He's a very mobile quarterback. He can extend plays. I like Dak Prescott personally a lot. I think he's a very good quarterback. If somehow the Cowboys didn't sign him, I feel like the Dolphins should at least try to pursue him, because how old is Dak Prescott? He is 26 years old. So yeah, you're going to get Dak for 10 years of his prime, and it's going to be really nice. I mean, Dak is a very efficient quarterback. He's accurate with the football. I think, people could say he's kind of inconsistent. He's a little bit inconsistent with his downfield accuracy, I will say that. He's not like the greatest deep ball thrower I've ever seen in my life, but he's clutch. He's, again, a winner. I like Dak a lot. And again, he led the league in all that stuff. But I like him a lot. So if there was one free agent quarterback that I actually think the Dolphins should look into pursuing, which it won't, but if it became a situation like that, then it should be Dak Prescott. Just being full dumb, and let Dak go, then the Dolphins should pursue that for sure. Dak Prescott's amazing, in my opinion, and he's 26 years old. And he in this offense with these weapons in Miami, and he's also a really physical player. He's strong, durable, all that stuff. He's a great quarterback. I like Dak a lot. So if he became available, the Dolphins 1,000%, yeah, that's a word, percent should go after him. If I had a draft board, I would rank Dak number 1. And really, I wouldn't have anybody else on the list, because to me, no one else is very significant or should be even considered. The next person on the list is Phillip Rivers. Okay, for obvious reasons, he's too old and he's not as good as he used to be. There you go. Jameis Winston, he turns the ball over way too much, and he's one of the most overrated players I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why people keep giving him second chances. He's the first quarterback to throw 30 touchdowns with 30 interceptions. He's a turnover machine. He makes very bad decisions with the football. He cannot lead a team to the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. You can't lead a team to the playoffs with Jameis Winston. He's had a talented enough roster to do so, and he's ruined it for his franchise and his team. So Jameis Winston is off the list. Drew Brees, too old. He's still good, and he lacks arm talent. I think he's in terms of being able to push the ball down the field. I think Drew Brees said it the best. He wants to stay where he is, and if he can't stay where he is, then that's it. And he said that, and I understand why he says that, because that to me, that's a perfect situation for him, and to leave that situation, I think, would hurt his career. Tom Brady, too old, and just too old. He's still good. He's still a really good quarterback. He still has the ability to push the ball down the field. He's very accurate, obviously, very smart, and he's still Tom Brady, but he's just too old. Marcus Mariota, can't push the ball down the field. Not a good pocket passer. Not consistent, and can't stay healthy. Ryan Tannehill, we don't even have to speak about that. And Eli Manning, obviously, definitely not. And Case Keenum, 1,000% not. If I had to rank Ryan Fitzpatrick on this list, he would be number 2, in my opinion, behind Dak Prescott. The only reason Dak's ahead of him is because of age. And, so they should re-sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not re-sign him, because it is a 2-year deal. But they should retain Ryan Fitzpatrick. And hopefully he comes back next season. So, in terms of free agent quarterbacks, there's not a lot to talk about, but there are specific scenarios. I would like to bring this up before we move on to the fan Q&A. If Adam Gase was still the quarterback, if still the head coach making roster decisions, Tom Brady would be if Tom Brady was available and he couldn't go back to New England, and somehow they built an adequate roster for Tom Brady in that span of time, which wouldn't happen if Adam Gase was still making the decisions, then Tom Brady would be I could see Tom or Phillip being the Dolphins quarterback this season. For sure, I could see that, which would be interesting. But I don't know. But in alternate reality, I think that's what would have happened. What would have happened?